50 Cent just fired shots, and the hip-hop world is buzzing. His response to Big Meech's brother and the new documentary has fans talking, and not everyone is happy. From subtle digs to direct calls, 50's latest move proves he's still one of the sharpest voices in the game. But what exactly did he say, and why is this sparking a storm online? Today we're breaking down every detail, every reaction, and the drama you won't see anywhere else. Welcome back to the channel, where we cover the biggest, most controversial moments in hip-hop and entertainment. Today we're diving into a story that's sending shockwaves through the streets and social media alike. 50 Cent's latest response to Big Meech's brother and the recently released documentary that has everyone talking. In this video, we'll break down exactly what 50 Cent said, the context behind his comments, and why it's causing so much debate among fans, rappers, and even other figures connected to the BMF legacy. You'll hear the specific lines that got everyone talking, the subtle and not so subtle shots he threw, and the reactions from the community that quickly went viral. By the end of this video, you'll understand the full picture, the tension, the history, and why some people think this could escalate further. Stick around because this isn't just about a social media post or a few comments. It's about legacy, reputation, and the unspoken rules of respect in the hip-hop world. And trust me, some of the details we'll cover are going to shock even longtime fans of 50 Cent and the BMF story. Before we get into the explosive response from 50 Cent, it's crucial to understand the backdrop that has made this situation so intense. For years, Big Meech, also known as Demetrius Flannery, has been a central figure in hip-hop culture due to his role in co-founding the Black Mafia family, or BMF. BMF was notorious not only for its reach in the drug trade, but also for its deep connections to music, especially in Detroit and Atlanta. The story of Big Meech and his empire has fascinated fans for decades, blending crime, business, and street credibility in a way that has become almost legendary. Recently, the BMF story was adapted into a high-profile documentary, which explores the rise and fall of the organization and the personal stories behind it. This project has reignited interest in the BMF legacy, drawing attention from rappers, fans, and media outlets who want to understand the dynamics behind the empire. And while the documentary has been praised for its storytelling, it has also raised questions about glorification, legacy, and how the next generation of the Flannery family fits into the narrative. Enter Big Meech's brother, who has been more publicly vocal as the documentary hit the scene. His interviews, social media comments, and interactions with the public added fuel to the fire as he began sharing his perspective on the family legacy and addressing criticisms or rumors connected to BMF. This visibility set the stage for 50 Cent's response. As 50 has never shied away from weighing in on matters of respect, street credibility, and cultural influence, especially when he feels lines have been crossed. 50 Cent's connection to this story is rooted in his long-standing presence in hip-hop and his reputation for being unfiltered. Over the years, he has commented on countless controversies, feuds, and high-profile dramas. His track record shows that when he chooses to speak, it's rarely just about casual opinion. There's strategy, humor, and sometimes a calculated dig aimed at making a point. So when the BMF documentary and Big Meech's brother's remarks began trending online, it was almost inevitable that 50 Cent would enter the conversation, and do so in his own signature style. But what makes this situation even more complicated is the mix of timing and context. The documentary dropped during a period when BMF's legacy is receiving renewed attention. Social media engagement is higher than ever, and fans are dissecting every move. This means every comment, every post, and every meme spreads faster and carries more weight than it would have a few years ago. For someone like 50 Cent, who has mastered the art of viral commentary, this was a perfect storm. A high-profile subject, a public figure connected to a controversial legacy, and an audience primed to react all the pieces. The historical background of BMF, the release of the documentary, Big Meech's brother speaking out, and 50 Cent poised to respond. But here's where things get really interesting. 50 didn't just react casually. His response contained direct shots, clever wordplay, and subtle references that only those familiar with the history would fully understand. And this is exactly what turned a simple response into a full-blown viral moment that the internet can't stop talking about. Now that we've set the stage with the BMF background and the documentary buzz, it's time to focus on the moment that has everyone talking. 50 Cent's response. When the post from Big Meech's brother started circulating, Fifth didn't just scroll past or post a vague comment, he went all in. Known for his sharp tongue, strategic comebacks, and viral social media presence, 50 Cent has a unique way of making every comment count, and this time was no exception. On his Instagram account, 50 Cent addressed the situation directly. While some of his posts were humorous, others were pointed and almost confrontational, sending clear shots at Big Meech's brother. He used a combination of wordplay, cultural references, and subtle digs, demonstrating that he was not only aware of the controversy, but also ready to shape the narrative himself. Fans quickly noticed that his response wasn't random. It was calculated, timed perfectly for maximum engagement, and filled with the kind of sharp humor Fifth is known for. One of the most talked about lines referenced his own legacy and name recognition. 50 Cent cleverly reminded the public that even amidst the rising popularity of new narratives and voices connected to the BMF story, his name and influence in hip-hop remain undeniable. Many fans interpreted this as a message that while the documentary and Big Meech's brother are generating buzz, Fifth's position in the culture is secure, something he reinforced with a mix of humor and subtle braggadocio. But what made this response go viral wasn't just the words themselves, it was the delivery. Fifth paired his comments with a series of posts, memes, and short video clips that added layers to his message. Each post seemed designed to provoke reaction, spark debate, and ensure that the conversation wouldn't fade anytime soon. And it worked. Within hours, his response was trending across Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, with fans dissecting every line, emoji, and caption for hidden meaning. The reactions were just as intense as the posts themselves. Some praised 50 Cent for his cleverness and his ability to dominate a conversation without even directly confronting anyone in person. Comments like, "Fifth always knows how to shut it down," and "He really showed them how it's done," flooded his comment sections. Others criticized him, suggesting that he was unnecessarily escalating the drama or overshadowing the actual story of the BMF documentary. This split in opinion shows just how polarizing 50 Cent can be. Some see him as a cultural genius, others as a provocateur who thrives on controversy. There's also an interesting layer of timing here. The documentary, while gaining attention on its own, now became secondary to the social media clash. Fans began comparing the messages in the documentary to 50 Cent's commentary, creating a back-and-forth discussion about authenticity, street credibility, and respect. Many viewers were dissecting whether Fifth's comments were a defense of his own legacy, a critique of how the BMF story is being told, or simply a way to assert dominance in the conversation. And here's where the suspense intensifies. 50 Cent didn't just throw general shade, he made references that suggested he knew more than the public realized. Some of his captions and posts hinted at behind-the-scenes knowledge, insider perspective, and even subtle calls to attention regarding respect in hip-hop culture. Fans immediately started speculating, was Fifth speaking from personal experience? Was he hinting at unrevealed truths about BMF? Or was this simply a masterclass in social media strategy designed to make headlines? The response also sparked reactions from other influential figures in hip-hop. Rappers, producers, and social media personalities began weighing in, some supporting Fifth, others questioning his timing or intentions. This added a whole new layer to the conversation, turning a social media comment into a multifaceted debate about legacy, respect, and power dynamics in the most fascinating part of the situation is how it illustrates the power of 50 Cent's brand. Even without physically attending a debate, giving an interview, or confronting anyone face-to-face, he dominated the narrative. Fans, media outlets, and other artists had no choice but to respond to him, dissect his words, and speculate on the implications. That's the kind of influence that only someone like 50 Cent can wield, turning a viral moment into a cultural discussion that stretches beyond music into the larger conversation about respect, reputation, and storytelling in hip-hop. After 50 Cent dropped his response, the internet completely erupted. Social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and even YouTube were flooded with reactions, memes, and videos dissecting every word, caption, and emoji he posted. Fans went straight to work, analyzing his subtle digs and clever wordplay, and the debate quickly spiraled into something much bigger than just a single post. On Instagram, fan pages and meme accounts began reposting his comments almost instantly. Some praised Fifth for his wit, calling him the king of comebacks and still untouchable in hip-hop commentary. Others questioned his intentions, accusing him of escalating drama unnecessarily or overshadowing the BMF documentary itself. One viral post even read, "50 Cent just turned a documentary into a full-blown Twitter war. Genius or chaos?" This illustrates the polarizing nature of 50 Cent. Some fans see him as a cultural strategist, others as a provocateur who thrives on conflict. Twitter became the real battlefield. Hashtags like number 50 Cent, number BMF, number Big Meech, and number 5 Shots were trending within hours. Fans were creating threads, breaking down each post, and connecting them to past events, music, or statements by both 50 Cent and the Flannery family. Some argued that Fifth's response was a protective move over his own legacy, while others saw it as a direct challenge to anyone trying to gain attention from the BMF story. One tweet went viral saying, "50 Cent doesn't just comment. He makes you rethink the story, the people, and even your own opinion on respect in hip-hop." Memes also exploded online, with creative spins on his captions, references to his music, and clever imagery blending BMF scenes with 50 Cent's iconic style. Fans loved the humor, while critics argued that it trivialized the seriousness of the documentary. The sheer volume of memes, reposts, and discussions amplified the story, making it almost impossible for casual viewers or fans to ignore the controversy. Fan reactions were divided. Some were thrilled by the drama, treating it as pure entertainment, dissecting every angle and debating who had the upper hand. Others were concerned that the online feud could overshadow the important aspects of the BMF documentary, the history, the social commentary, and the real-life consequences of the organization's rise and fall. This division sparked heated debates, with fans on both sides passionately defending their opinions. Even beyond fan pages, other hip-hop artists and public figures began weighing in. Some offered support to 50 Cent, praising his ability to dominate a conversation without direct confrontation, while others suggested that he was being provocative simply to get attention and create clicks. The reactions didn't stop there. Podcast hosts, YouTube commentators, and news outlets jumped on the story, dissecting the posts line by line and discussing the cultural implications. The debate became a media storm, extending far beyond the original posts. There's also an interesting generational element to consider. Younger fans on TikTok loved the meme culture surrounding the feud, creating viral short clips and remixes that kept the drama trending. Meanwhile, older fans, more invested in the history of BMF and 50 Cent's career, engaged in more serious discussions about respect, legacy, and street credibility. The combination of these audiences amplified the story even further, turning a simple response into a cross-generational discussion that reached far beyond hip-hop circles.